Can you remove oxidation from a vehicle? Short answer, yes. Can you do it safely? It requires a little bit more nuance to it. So we actually just got a question about this. And we also have this Audi in here that has oxidation. So I figured I'd make this quick video. So this is an Audi S6. It actually is already detailed. I just got our full detail. They're actually getting ready to move on. They're gonna sell it. What this vehicle did not get is any paint correction. So if you will notice on the hood, and hopefully this actually shows up, it is very like hazy, it's very cloudy. There's not a lot of clarity to it. So, but again, it's already been detailed. It's completely clean. It's incredibly smooth. Obviously you can't tell that, but it's completely clean and incredibly smooth, but you have all this haziness. So what is that? So oxidation is basically just, think of it like dead skin, right? It's UV damage that's worn out and faded the paint. And so in order to get rid of that, going with the dead skin analogy, you basically have to exfoliate. You've got to get rid of all this dead skin, but you got to be able to do that safely. So we have the world's most expensive paint depth gauge. I kind of wish that was a joke. It's not. But you can see it's right at about 120 microns. Yes, we measure in microns. That's metric system. A little over 4 mils if you want the actual American system, but metric system, way simpler. So it's about 120 microns. What does that mean? Well, the average car typically actually has about 100 microns or 4 mils. So this car theoretically would have enough clear coat to safely remove all this oxidation. Now, you've got to be really careful because oxidation occurs obviously typically in older vehicles. I don't remember, I want to say this is a 2017. I can look it up, but I think it's a 2017. So, and especially darker cars too, you'll see it a lot. So you're talking about 7 years, and especially if you don't have your vehicle coated, if you don't wax your vehicle routinely, all that sun damage just comes and just beats the heck out of this hood. So in order to get rid of it, you could polish it. It's probably not gonna do anything. You've really gotta go deep. So more than likely what you're talking about is you probably need to sand it. So you guys come over here. Let's just go on a field trip. So this is sandpaper that we will use to sand down. This is 1000 grit. Probably wouldn't start with this aggressive on it. We'd probably start with something like 2000 grit. And basically we would take this, sand it all down. I'm not gonna do that right now because that would make a huge mess. That's basically what you need to do. So you've got to sand it all down, and honestly it's probably gonna get worse before it gets better because again, you're using sandpaper. So ideally you take all of that off. Once you do that, then you're gonna have to come back and you're gonna have to compound and polish it out. And again, we need to do this safely to where we have enough clear coat to be able to do that. And then once we do that, then we should be left with a nice, shiny, clean surface. The problem is, if this is sounding like a lot of work, that's because it is. And typically, it's only gonna be older vehicles that are gonna oxidize. So it would not shock me. I mean, you could potentially pay anywhere from like $1,000 to $3,000 on, you know, wet sanding a car like this. It's a very, very labor intensive process. And when you're talking those numbers, although it's a lot better than repainting, I mean, repainting you could be anywhere from 6 to 10, but most people don't want to put that kind of money into older vehicles like this. Now, if you're trying to preserve as much as possible, you want the original paint, again, we could probably make that work for you. That's typically what you're gonna have to do with oxidation. So moral of the story is, if you don't want this to happen and you want your vehicle to stay looking really good, then either just wax it, coat it, just keep it protected, or else this kind of haziness is gonna happen and it just doesn't look good. Again, this is after huge wash, decon, highest quality wax you can buy. And this is kind of what you're left with. But from a distance, still looks super shiny. Again, but that's a quick video on, can you remove oxidation? Yes, but you need to do so safely, very carefully, and potentially it could be very, very expensive. Any other question you guys got? Let me know. Love to answer.